We hear a lot about, who should be in the boardroom and who's got what it takes. And, there's no doubt there's a lot of people that would love to be serving in boardrooms. I get contacted, obviously, by thousands of candidates each and every month. But I want to just spend a little bit of time just talking about who are the people who should really not be kind of trying to pursue this pathway and maybe just don't have the fundamentals quite right. The first in the category is someone who is fundamentally quite junior, who has worked only at very modest levels within management, within the business, and have not held P&L responsibility, haven't really been responsible at the most senior levels in the company. I'm increasingly being contacted by very young, inexperienced executives who have been told by someone that they should be serving on boards. That is a bit of a myth in the market that we now need to correct. The people who serve in the boardroom are typically the most senior executives who've held very senior roles, reported to the board of directors, have certainly been in the C-suite or executive director level. So if you fundamentally are quite junior and in your management sort of roles and just starting out in management, don't worry about sort of trying to pursue a board career now. That is something for later. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but it really is something for you to concentrate on your executive career pathway. And some of the things you might concentrate on is sort of serving on internal committees, maybe working volunteering in the not-for-profit sector, building up some external experience that could be very valuable later on, but don't sweat it at this stage. Too many young people are contacting me at the moment who've been given some incorrect advice. This is something for senior executives who have really sort of had a fair bit of responsibility and are ready to step up into the boardroom, which is the highest position in the company. The second person who really shouldn't be considering this is the executive who does not like to put themselves out there, does not like to network with senior business executives. The reality is, if you're going to be serving on boards, you have to be a brand ambassador for the business that you're serving on. You need to be connected. You need to be prepared to meet with other senior business executives. You may have to have business dealings with other business executives. So fundamentally, if you don't enjoy the cut and the thrust of business and enjoy getting out and meeting people, operating at quite a senior level, introducing yourself, having to sort of make connections on behalf of a business, it probably is not for you. And I do see a lot of people who just think they can get onto boards and ignore the networking piece and ignore the connection piece. And the reality is that you're going to really struggle where that's concerned. And then the final individual who I think has to do a little bit of soul searching is the individual who maybe doesn't have the best business reputation. People who maybe have had a few failures in life, maybe had a few fallouts, don't really, know quite why it all happened. But, the reality is the reputation is not stellar and you're going to struggle. You may get a board seat here or there, but in the long term, your business reputation is all important in this space. And, having a pretty stellar background, quality background is important. You are representing a company at the highest level, serving on the board of directors. So reputation is a big issue, and that's where you've got to do a little bit of soul searching. So my three pieces of advice: if you are a little bit too junior, it's not quite the right time for you. Timing is everything in life. Number two, if you don't enjoy networking, if you're not prepared to put yourself out there and connect with very senior business executives, you are going to struggle. And if you have some reputational issues, maybe through no fault of your own, but maybe there is those issues there. Maybe there's been liquidations, bankruptcies, and the like. Maybe board work is not quite for you either. So consider all of those factors when you're embarking on your board director journey.